RuneScape's first glitch was one that Jagex couldn't seem to fix no matter how hard they tried. This glitch would allow players to raise their strength level to absolutely insane numbers. And for over 3 years, Jagex would patch it, then the players would just find a new way to do it. The first version of this glitch popped up just 3 weeks after RuneScape launched, making it the first major glitch in RuneScape history, or at least the first one big enough for an official news post about it to be created. Players discovered that drinking beer would raise their strength level by a little bit, allowing them to hit slightly higher numbers on enemies. This was a funny little feature that, although not accurate to real life, was fairly useful, especially if you really like to drink. It turns out that the strength increase from beer would stack, meaning the more beer you drank, the stronger you would get. Each beer would increase your strength level by 1 temporarily, and if you drank a full inventory of beer, you'd increase your strength by an insane 30 levels. This was a really big deal, especially for player killers. This was back when the wilderness didn't exist, and PvP was on everywhere aside from Lumbridge. Plus, at the time, banks could only hold coins, so you'd be carrying everything you own at all times. So, if you got wasted enough, you could kill any player you came across, and get some incredible loot. Soon after the glitch was discovered, someone informed Andrew Gower, the game's founder, and it was changed to work the way it does today. No matter how many beers you drink, your strength level will only increase by 1, and in some cases 2, because it has a weird formula. Now, RuneScape experts might be thinking, beer also slightly drains your attack stat, meaning although you'll hit higher numbers from the strength boost, you'll also have a higher chance to hit a 0, since your attack level controls your accuracy. It's not known if the attack draining feature was added when the beer glitch was patched, or if beer has always functioned that way, but regardless, alcoholics dominated early RuneScape Classic for the first month, and, well, they sorta still do based on how many bars this game has. Now, this was far from the end of this glitch. Over the next few years, a variety of methods to increase your strength to astronomical numbers would be discovered and abused, all of which were even more powerful than getting trashed. The next version of this glitch, much like beer, was hiding in the code since the game's launch, and all it would take was a player discovering it. This is the Spinach roll, an item that at the time was extremely rare. The only way you could obtain one was by speaking to Treyborn the Wizard during the Demon Slayer quest. If you tell him that you need to get a key given to him by Sir Pryson, he would ask you who that is. If you answered with, he's one of the king's knights, he would say he remembered him and that he didn't like his homemade spinach rolls, and then he would offer you one. Upon eating one, you'd learn that these were no ordinary homemade spinach rolls. Spinach rolls would temporarily boost your strength by 5 levels, and just like beer from the first month of RuneScape, this effect could be stacked. If you ate 10 spinach rolls, you'd get a crazy temporary bonus of 50 strength levels. Or if you ate a full inventory's worth, 150 levels. So if you had level 99 strength, you could boost it all the way up to 249. Even without 99 strength, this huge bonus would be enough to absolutely decimate anyone or anything in your path. Your character would literally turn into One Punch Man. However, not only did seemingly nobody know about this game-breaking effect, very few knew how to obtain a spinach roll. Wizard Treyborn would give you as many as you wanted, assuming you never progressed through the rest of the Demon Slayer quest, as when you did, the dialogue option would disappear forever. Other than that, there was no way to get one. But that would soon change, as just a little over a week after the super strength beer cheat was fixed, moss giants would be introduced to the game, and on their drop table was a 1 in 128 chance of receiving a spinach roll. However, this was still only a month after the game was released, and moss giants were a whopping level 62. Almost nobody had the stats to defeat them, and even if they did, it would mean risking everything. As you'll remember, banks could only hold coins. As a result, very few players would ever obtain a spinach roll, let alone multiple, so it's not even known if anyone ever abused its effect, There's actually even some doubt in the classic community on if its stacking effect ever even existed. As far as I could find, there was only ever one post acknowledging the roll's stacking effect on the tip.it forums, and one forum thread of a player trying to buy as many as possible who also must have known how it worked. Sometime before December of 2001, the roll's strength boosting effect was quietly removed. This was likely because Jagex was about to release the Herb Law skill, which allows you to create potions that temporarily increase your stats in different skills. And quick side note, yeah, it was actually called Herb Law and not Herb Lore back in Classic. It was changed to Herb Lore because Herb Law isn't a word. Despite the Spinach roll being made more or less useless and becoming much more widely available in updates soon after, scammers would make millions off of them for years to come by convincing noobs that it was still both rare and powerful. The next glitch would occur roughly a year after the game's launch, in January of 2002. Around this time, the maximum number that a player could hit on an enemy was rumored to be around 30. This was if you had all the best gear, such as a rune two-hander, and also had 99 strength. However, nobody was even close to that level, but rumors began spreading that a few players had discovered a glitch that allowed them to hit 40s without 99 strength, and with weapons as simple as a bronze axe. One player specifically, named X Magna X, posted on a forum that he had a rune two-hand and could hit 30s despite not being anywhere close to 99 strength. Just about everyone who responded to his post laughed at him and called him a noob. A glitch to make someone that strong was surely impossible. But it turns out he wasn't lying, and it wasn't long before dozens of players would learn exactly how to do it too. As more players learned about this glitch through word of mouth, a guide on how to do it was posted to the Tip.it forums and was spread like wildfire through the community. All you needed to do this bug was have any weapon and a knife in your inventory. The way it worked was by first clicking on the minimap to walk somewhere far away. Then you would right-click your weapon and click drop. However, in Classic, items didn't actually drop until your character stopped moving. So, while you were walking, you'd have time to right-click your weapon again. When your character stopped moving, the weapon would drop, you would then click equip on the right-click menu that you still have open, and your character would equip the knife. Now, knives normally don't have an equip option, so why the heck would you even want to equip one? Well, originally, knives were going to be equipable and would give you a slight accuracy and strength increase. But before RuneScape launched, the equip option was removed. However, the bonuses were not. Andrew Gower didn't expect a glitch like this to happen, so he didn't bother removing them. So, using this method, you could trick the game into allowing you to equip one, thus giving you its bonuses. Doing this glitch with multiple knives is where things got crazy. You would equip all of them, with each additional one further increasing your accuracy and strength. So, if you had a weapon and an otherwise full inventory of knives, you could equip 29. Like some really horrific version of Wolverine. But what really made this glitch scary was how RuneScape Classic's combat system worked. Whenever an enemy or another player attacked you, you were forced to fight 3 rounds of combat before you could run away. So if someone abusing this glitch attacked you, you were most certainly dead before you even had the chance to run. As this method was spread, the game's only knife spawn in Varrock would soon become crowded with players who wanted to abuse this glitch. But many of those who did would regret it very soon after. Those who heavily abused the bug for purposes such as PKing would be permanently banned, while those who used it for training on monsters would only be temporarily banned. But I think the most interesting punishment was for those who didn't get banned. If you logged into RuneScape the day after the bug had been patched and still had knives equipped, you'd be instantly killed. You'd also receive the terrifying messages of cheating will not be tolerated and your character has been marked as a known cheater. If I was 10 years old and saw either of those messages, I'd be sweating more than my first time at Jad. The next variation of this glitch occurred just a few months before the launch of RuneScape 2, and out of all of them was the most short-lived and least known about. When God spells were released along with the Mage Arena quest, it seems that Jagex forgot to test them. The Flames of Zamorak spell was so powerful that a few players remember being able to one-shot other players players in the wilderness with it. But like most other glitches in this video, Jagex patched it soon after. Nobody seems to know why this glitch occurred in the first place, but the running theory is that your ranged level somehow affected how hard the spell could hit. Meaning, if you had a really high range level, you would do absolutely insane damage. But this would be the last super strength glitch to affect Classic, as the RuneScape 2 beta would launch less than 3 months later, and no more major content additions would be made to Classic. Don't forget to check out War Thunder in the description below to get that massive bonus pack I mentioned earlier. It's free to play on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And after that, check me out on Kick, or watch another video on screen right now.